Unni, Malu and Grandma prostrated before the lamp in the puja room. The light from the lamp cast a gentle glow on the pictures of the deities. Grandma continued the narration of the Ramayana. Sita, Rama and Lakshmana built a beautiful ashram for themselves at the foothills of the Chitrakuta mountain and lived there in peace and happiness. Now, let's look at what was happening in Ayodhya. Sumantra, Dasharatha's chief minister, returned to Ayodhya, his heart heavy with sadness. He met King Dasharatha, who asked him, "How are my children? Did they have any message for this great sinner? Oh God, will I not be blessed to take my last breath in the presence of my sweet children?" Sumantra told the king, who was thus berating himself, "Obeying your order, I drove them in my chariot. As we were resting by the bank of the Ganga near the town of Sringavera, the local ruler Guha came and offered his salutations to Sri Rama. He brought along fruits and honey. The prince requested tree gum and other materials needed to tie his hair up in a matted knot. As he climbed into Guha's boat, he told me, 'Offer my salutations to my father and mothers. Tell father not to grieve on my behalf.' Sita Devi was crying as she said, 'Offer my salutations at my mother's feet.' Guha rowed them across the Ganga. I stood and looked at the three of them until they disappeared from sight. I was so transfixed that I stood there like a statue. Then I went back to the chariot and came swiftly back to you." Kaushalya, who was standing beside Dasharatha and listening to his laments, spoke. "You could have handed the kingdom over to Kaikeyi. Why did you have to exile Rama to the forest? What's the point of lamenting like this now?" Dasharatha replied, "Why do you remind me again and again of my folly and increase my sorrow?" He then recounted an incident that had happened a long time ago. Once he had gone hunting and was eager to kill an animal. Reaching a riverbank at midnight, he heard a sound nearby. It was a young hermit filling his pot with water from the river. In the darkness, the king mistook the sound for an elephant drinking water. His arrow accurately hit the target, mortally wounding the young boy. When the king ran up to him, the boy started weeping. "Oh, I'm going to die! I have done no harm to anyone, and yet I have been hurt this way. My parents are old and blind. They are so very thirsty. Who is there to give them water now?" The king, realizing his grave error, confessed to the boy that he had mistaken the sound of him filling his water pot for an elephant drinking water. He revealed that he was the king of the country. He then fell at the feet of the young sage and begged his pardon. The boy said, "O king, no harm will come to you. Remove the arrow from my body and please relieve me of my pain. Then go to my aged parents and quench their thirst. Let them know of my fate." Dasharatha pulled the arrow out of the young sage's body, whereupon the boy passed away. He took the pot of water, went to his old parents, and recounted what had happened. They began wailing in grief. After some time, they requested Dasharatha, "Please take us to the spot where our son has fallen." Dasharatha took them there. The old couple began their heartbreaking laments while caressing their son's body. On their instructions, the king prepared a funeral pyre for the young boy, placed his body upon the wooden logs, and lit the pyre. As the fire burned brightly, the old parents entered the pyre. As the flames were devouring them, the old man cursed King Dasharatha. May you also die grieving for your son. As he finished narrating this incident to Kaushalya, the king told her, "The time for the fulfillment of the curse has arrived." He fell to the floor and his laments filled the air. Rama, 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 Sita, Lakshmana, Sri Rama. Thus, Dasharatha departed from this world. Children, did you know that the native people in Australia use a weapon called a boomerang? Usually when we throw a ball or frisbee, it lands on the ground or can be caught by another person, right? But when you throw a boomerang, it flies into the air for a while, then turns around and returns to the person who threw it.
Grandma, what would happen if you threw a boomerang and could not catch it when it returns?
Well, the boomerang would still come back to you. Amma says, karma is like a boomerang that we fail to catch most of the time, so it ends up hitting us. The only difference is that the karma boomerang might not return immediately. It may come back only after some time. This is what happened to King Dasharatha. He had to face the consequences of his hasty actions after such a long time. That's why we have to be careful to be kind to everyone so that we can experience good things in the future. Okay, children, it's time to go to bed. Let's listen to another story from the Ramayana tomorrow.